I remember when we first started looking into what it would take to actually make more stuff at home instead of buying all of our stuff at a store, and boy, that was overwhelming.
Very much so.
You guys, okay, type in the comments section. Do you know what I'm talking about? Can I see that hand, brother? Yes, brother, I can see that hand. You know what I mean? Where it was, where do you start?
There are so many things that people just buy at the store for convenience and don't really understand or realize everything that goes into it.
Everything from cheese
Yogurt.
to eggs and meat and home security and all of the gazillion things that it takes to be more self-reliant.
Yeah.
What are all those things that you buy at the superstores?
Right.
Start looking in your cart and go, could I make that? Could I make that? Could I make that? Could I make that? And it gets overwhelming.
Well, not to derail completely, but farmers markets are hysterical to me. I love farmers markets. I love to go to farmers markets. I love to walk around and chat with people, but I never buy anything from farmers markets. And why is that, hon?
Because we do a lot of the stuff that they do.
We do just about everything at home that these folks are selling at a farmer's market.
And we love them.
And we love them. Yes, absolutely love farmers markets, but I never buy anything.
Yeah, and it's because now we do those things.
Right.
It used to be that we would walk down those aisles and go, wow, I gotta have a this, or that's so cool, or they're growing those peppers.
Or wow, that's really expensive soap. How can I make that myself at home?
And so it was super important to take things one step at a time. That was one of the big lessons that we really messed up in the beginning, is when we realized, oh my gracious, oh my Lanta, holy macaroni, mackerel. We realized if it wasn't in the shopping cart at the store, we couldn't do it. And we wanted to do it all at once. And then what happened was we started doing a lot of things very poorly.
Oh, yes. When you take on too many projects at once, then stuff starts to come apart.
So honestly, I think that rule number one in self-reliance farming,
Homesteading, hobby farm, whatever you want to call it.
do one thing at a time,
Yes.
or max a couple.
Two.
But don't be like, I have to, because what ends up happening is you do things badly. For example, when we first kind of woke up and realized, oh my gracious, we don't have enough food in our house to last more than
A week.
we made a beeline with our checkbook and credit cards. We should not have.
It's a long time ago, but yeah.
We made a beeline for the restaurant supply store. I think it was called GFS at the time. And it was like, okay, we got to buy at least 300 pounds of beans, and we got to buy 500 pounds of rice. We got to buy this, and we got to buy that. And then we would package it all up, and so much of it.
Now what?
Well, first of all, so much of it was not packed properly.
Yeah.
And a lot of it got wasted because we didn't even know how to package it up. We just knew we needed it. Instead of going, all right, let's do some research. Let's understand how to deal with this stuff, instead of just pile it all on. And then animals were worse.
Nightmare. Yeah.
Chickens. Chickens are easy, but not if you're doing chickens and bees and sheep and goats
Eggs or
all at the same time. And let me tell you what, folks, we were blessed that none of our animals expired because of our own negligence, but it could have very easily gone south if we were not a little more careful.
Yeah.
And you cannot be taking on animals if you don't know how to care for them. That's
Right.
Oh my gosh.
To learn more about taking care of animals is find somebody locally that you may know that is willing to teach you. Somebody who's already got this set up.
Mentor.
Exactly. Find a mentor that can help. You can help them by cleaning out a sheep pen or a pig pen or a chicken coop, and they can teach you.
Rule number 1 is don't take on more than you can chew.
No.
Of course, and I mean rule number 1 is after you've already made the decision that you probably need to get started.
Yeah, exactly.
Oop, that's our dog, Brutus.
He's rolling around. Yeah.
He has this habit, I don't know if you know St. Bernards, but he has this habit of laying on his side, probably because he's like a gigantic beached whale. But every once in a while when we get super happy, he'll start pulling his paws like this, and he thinks
it looks like he's
swimming
on the carpet or the floor. Yeah.
He's just happy, laying there drooling.
Yeah.
Swimming.
Everywhere he lays, there's a wet spot on the floor from his mouth.
So going back, once you've understood, hey, there's a problem here. Mm-hmm. We don't have enough food. We don't know how to do stuff. We don't know how to do this, that. Rule number 1, after that acknowledgement, is don't take on more than you can chew.
Nope. We've done that, and we've been overwhelmed. Oh, very much overwhelmed. Do 1 or 2 things, but not 3 and 4 or 5 things. Unless, of course, you have a lot of help at home. But we had a lot of help at home.
We still mess
things up. I mean, we had 6 kids. We have 7 children, but at the time when we moved here, we had 6. I'll get it straight. We had 6 kids when we moved to Wisconsin, and we added way too many things all at once, and all of us felt very overwhelmed very quickly.
Okay, and now here's the big thing, ladies and gents, that if you don't follow rule number 1, there are 2 things that are going to follow. Mm-hmm. You're going to waste time and money because you will inevitably, things will fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
For example, and by the way, please type your comments. Here you go. Confession time. Biggest waste of time and money. Ready? What's your biggest waste of time and money that you messed up? We'll confess ours. Type yours down below, and we'll confess ours. I'm going to think of one. You think of one. I think our biggest waste of time and money, by not learning one thing at a time, by getting overwhelmed, is doing gardening wrong.
Yes.
Doing gardening wrong. What do you mean by that, Brad? Well, instead of doing 1 or 2 plants that we can understand and plant and actually not have you cost a lot of money for soil, not fertilizer, not this, not that, planting it wrong, overwatering, underwatering, not understanding what you're actually planting, all of those crops wasted, all of that time and money wasted. Yep. By not just doing a little bit of research and doing things slower, but more effectively.
Right. And I would expand on that and overplanting.
More stuff, too many
things you can't manage, and then there's extra waste. So that's a big, that's been a big problem. That's not been a big problem, but that's been a big challenge for us. Is you get so gung-ho and, I only need 15 tomato plants. I'm going to plant 30.
Yeah.
No, bad idea.
Unless that's your world.
Unless you have a way to actually manage it and deal with the produce that's coming off of it. You have to, like we've said before, take things slow. Don't do everything gung-ho. Learn it. Learn the difference between your plants and what they're going to do. And
Now, here's another thing that you need to be aware of as you're growing in self-reliance. And we're only saying this because we've been doing it for about 8 years now, 9 years, 10 years,
12, maybe?
Somewhere in there.
Something like
plus or minus a decade.
Yeah.
No, not minus. Just
plus,
around a decade.
Yeah, around a decade.
Is this, there are a lot of people who maybe even mean well, but they are screwing you up on YouTube. You got to be so careful with the people because you're going to waste time and money if you listen to the wrong people. This is what you got to do. If you're learning a new skill, and this is just my advice, do what you want. is watch, like if you're going to learn chickens, watch 20 videos and then write down
the similarities.
What are they all check boxes? What are all the things that they're all agreeing on?
Yeah.
Those are probably the things that are right.
Yeah. There's so many.
They mean well generally. Some people are they just want the attention.
There's so much misinformation out there about chickens or a particular animal.
We should have no, I'm not gonna. A disinformation board. Ooh, I'll stay away from that. I'll stay away from that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
That it will cost you time and money if you follow the incorrect information. It happened to us. You think that this person, because their video has 1 million views,
that all of a sudden they're right.
All of a sudden they know what they're talking about. Did you ever think that maybe those 1 million views are 1 million people who said, boy, oh boy, this guy's an idiot.
Or maybe
this
they're 1
woman's
million
an
views
idiot.
of clickbait.
Exactly. Or it's clickbait. Exactly.
And you watched it and you're like,
took the
wait a
bait.
minute. I have a friend who has a channel called Splanify. His name is Tyler, and he's a pastor, but he's also an author of some preparedness stuff.
Yep.
And he was chatting with me the other day, and we were saying, it's really funny because I'm an author too. Well, I will be. We're in the process. We're almost done with the editing. But he said it's amazing how that when all of a sudden you have a book that's published, you become the expert. Why?
What? No.
He's right, though.
He's right.
That people perceive that.
Right. People perceive, but
it's like, what?
No.
Because you have a title, all of a sudden you're wicked smart. No. No, you check the sources, people. You do the research.
Yes.
You make sure, or else you're going to waste time and money. And if animals are involved, you could end up hurting them if you do the wrong thing.
right. It'll cost that animal its life if you're doing the wrong thing.
Don't do that.
No.
So rule number 1 is don't bite off more than you can chew after you've understood, hey, there's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the second part to that is check. Do your own research. Because you know what? We've followed some people that there's great information, and then there's information from people who just want to be YouTube stars.
Yeah, so they'll put clickbait out there.
Well, and we took the bait many times.
We took the bait many times. Or folks that will, come into your life and misguide you.
What are you talking about? I'm not following how it fits with what we're talking about.
Because it's going to waste time and money.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't track with that. A little slow on the upshot, apparently.
Excuse me, sorry.
So, anyway, that's the beginner's advice.
Yeah.
This is the beginner's advice. Rule number 1. So, hopefully this is helpful to you because honestly, it'll save you time and money.
Yeah, it really will. It will save you not just time and money, but agony, heartache,
and hopefully not hurt your animals.
Exactly. Or you get hurt because you did a thing,
like Brad.
You did something like somebody had suggested you do, but you you did it wrong for you. We've said many times that if you ask a farmer 100 different if you ask 100 different farmers one way of doing a thing, they're going to give you 100 different answers.
Because their way works for them.
Right.
It may not work for you.
Exactly.
So anyway, there it is. Rule number 1, it'll save you time and money and hopefully heartache too. That could be like part 5.
Yeah.
Put your comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We really, really do appreciate it. So there it is. I'm Brad.
I'm Christa.
You guys have an amazing and blessed day.